Good morning, and thanks for staying with us. We're at the KDEA office. We're joined by Chad Bontrager, who's the Deputy Secretary of Agriculture here in the state of Kansas. And what a year for agriculture here in the state of Kansas. If you look at the early part of the year, wildfires, and you and I were talking before we went on camera, I completely forgot about the wildfires. I mean, that's just kind of how much has really gone on this year in agriculture here in the state.
Had a lot going on, and we were excited. In January, the governor kind of kicked off the year in his State of the State, and he talked about agriculture and the importance it plays in the Kansas economy, and highlighted dairy and water along the way as well. And that kind of got us going for what's been a pretty busy year.
Well, not only that, but we talk about record crops. Soybeans, they'll set a record this year. Wheat set a record this year. Yep. Not only the amount of bushels, but bushels per acre set a record. And we've got grain on the ground. And the list goes on and on and on, Chad, of just how fortunate we are here in the state of Kansas.
Yeah, so it's not very often that you've got bin busters in wheat, corn, and soybeans. Right. And we don't have all the data yet on the fall crops, but we are expecting to have good yields in grain sorghum as well. And it's evident when you travel across the state, you see the grain piled on the ground, the elevators are full, but it's moving too. Right. But it really highlights the need to find homes for all of those bushels. And it's had a downward pressure on the commodity prices as well.
Well, not only that, your office here does a lot of work internationally for producers here in the state of Kansas. Yep. When it comes to trade. And we were just at the wheat office last week talking to them, and trade with Cuba seems to be on the top of everybody's list.
Anywhere that we can move Kansas commodities, I think is going to be helpful. This year we hosted 15 inbound trade missions, so folks coming from other countries to see Kansas agriculture, and we led 7 outbound trade missions. So our marketing division's been busy with that, and we appreciate all the Kansas farmers and ranchers and agribusinesses that have participated in those missions, whether inbound or outbound. And trade's critical. If you think about Trans-Pacific Partnership as an example, if that were to go into effect as it's written and proposed today, that'd be $3.5 billion additional impact to the Kansas economy because of the agriculture trade that comes for that. So trade's critical for what we've got going on in Kansas.
Well, not only that, but you look at Israel starting to import beef again. Some other people have made deals with us to start importing beef again. Again, beef industry extremely important to the state of Kansas.
Very important. As a standalone industry, beef on its own, it's the second largest industry in the state. You combine all of agriculture together, we're far and away number one. 43% of the economy, $63 billion a year, 12% of the workforce. We've actually done some additional work this year with the depressed commodity prices and a lot of volatility in the beef market as well. What's that impact to tax revenue in the state? And what we've determined is that for every 1% reduction in commodity prices, there's a $7.8 million reduction in sales tax revenue in Kansas, because farmers and ranchers don't have the money coming in, and so they're not spending it in their local economies, and we see that impact carry through the state economy as well. So the prices do have an impact.
Right, you're right. It truly is a trickle-down effect. Yep. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll finish up with Chad here at the Kansas Department of Agriculture office. You're watching kansasAGreport. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Thanks for staying with us. We're at the Kansas Department of Agriculture office here in Manhattan, Kansas. We're joined by Chad Bontrager, who's the Deputy Agriculture Secretary. So Chad, again, we're kind of talking about kind of what happened this year when it comes to agriculture here in the state of Kansas. And it really, when you look at the list you put together, you go, oh yeah, I remember that when that happened. I remember when that happened. I'm just going to preface this, and I'm going to do it really quick because we've got a lot of things to cover right here. You can really disagree with the governor on some of the things that he's done, but you cannot disagree with the governor on what he's done for agriculture in the state of Kansas. You look at this list, and we've got the DFA milk processing plant, huge deal. Cargill staying here in the state of Kansas, huge deal. American Royal moving to Kansas, huge deal. The list goes on and on and on, Chad.
And you know, we've talked before about Kansas has long been known for commodity production in agriculture, beef, wheat, corn, grain sorghum, whatever the case may be. But it's important that we use those things in the state as well, value add, do additional processing with it in the state. And we've had some big wins. You know, you mentioned the DFA plant in Garden City. It's currently under construction. It's going to be a great home for Kansas milk, and we actually expect that having that plant in Kansas will attract more cows. We've currently got right at 300 dairy farms, 143,000 cows being milked in the state, and we want to see that continue to grow. Fluid milk processing has the highest economic multiplier of any agriculture sector out there. So it's a great win for Kansas. Another big highlight at East Kansas Agri-Energy in Garnett. They actually brought online the first renewable diesel production in the country attached to an ethanol plant this year. So they're making a diesel product from corn oil that's identical to petroleum-based diesel. It's called renewable diesel, a great win for Kansas as well. This year, our ag marketing team did 6 agribusiness development workshops across the state in small towns designed to help folks that want to grow their business, want to start a business, whatever it may be, help them figure out what are some of the first steps in doing that. So we're really focused on growth and value adding in Kansas.
And not only that, and we're running out of time. I mean, there's just so much to cover. And but if anybody really wants to know what's going on with agriculture here in the state of Kansas, the KDA website's a great place to start.
Yes, sir, it sure is.
Perfect. Chad, it's good to see you.
You too.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Same to you.
Thank you. You watch the Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in a minute. If you would like to advertise your business on Kansas Ag Report, give us a call, 785-580-3287.